All right, got Prosecco, our mask, grape water at the ready. Let's do it. Hi everyone, so today we are talking about masks. If you couldn't tell from the title, the utterly pretentious title, which I think is the funniest thing that I've ever come up with, and if you understand the reference, you're my new best friend, and we can giggle about it together. I get questions about masks all the time. I feel like it's really big right now. I mean, every brand is trying to come out with the next best mask, and they're all trying to outdo each other. And to be fair, masks are amazing. They definitely have their purpose in your skincare wardrobe. However, I do want to emphasize the fact that masks should not be a replacement for good daily skincare. Masks are an emergency button. Masks are a quick fix, so they're designed to give you a result almost instantly, or in up to 15 minutes. And they really do have their purpose. I mean, they are designed to kind of improve the way your skin looks before you go out in the evening, decongest your skin midweek, you know, from maybe excess oil or pollution that's getting kind of clogged up in your pores. It helps with that. You know, kind of a recovery mask if you had too much fun during the weekend, or you just kind of have had a long day and you need a lot of repair, or your skin's just going through something. But they are not a replacement for good daily skincare. They're the whipped cream on the top, if you will. So in my skincare stash, I actually have my masks separated into two different bins. The one on the left is for when my skin is congested, breaking out, enlarged pores. The one on the right is when my skin is dry, or dull, or I need a little bit of smoothness. And I think most masks could fit into either one of those bins. There are a few masks that have actually bridged the gap and can fit right in the middle. One of the ones that I found is the Honeymud from Lindstrom, which is more of a kind of I use it as a cleanser, but it is honey and white halloysite clay, so purifying but still conditioning and antibacterial and hydrating. So one of the few that fits into both, but for what it is, it's absolutely fantastic. But for all intents and purposes, I'm gonna split it into two, either purifying and toning and detoxifying, even though I hate that word, or hydrating, plumping, brightening, exfoliating, that sort of thing. I first want to talk about Caudalie grape water because it is absolutely an essential in my mask wardrobe, because it helps me to reactivate the masks, in parentheses or quotations, when I'm wearing them. So I think when your mask dries out and it either gets lighter in color if it's clay, or whatever the case may be, the purifying ability of that clay is sort of limited. So when you add more moisture, it kind of keeps the clay active and it helps to kind of purify a little bit deeper, in my experience. There's a few masks that I actually have to keep activated and keep hydrated, because that's when I feel like they work their best. When they dry out, they don't necessarily do all that much. The cool thing about these kind of mists, Caudalie grape water being my essential and La Roche-Posay being another great one to have on hand, is you can kind of customize it. So if you are doing a hydrating mask, like a hydrating clay, the one that I'm doing right now is the raw Shea Butter Hydrating Mud Mask from Shea Moisture. This one I am obviously using for a more moisturizing kind of conditioning element, so I'm spraying grape water. When I'm doing a really purifying mask, I'll do the Serozinc, which is zinc sulfate, naturally cleansing, and oil control. So you can kind of do what you want with them. So let's just go with the one that I have on my face right now. Shea Moisture Raw Shea Butter Hydrating Mud Mask with frankincense and myrrh extracts. Yeah, it does kind of smell like a Lush bath bomb, which I'm into. This is one of the two Shea Moisture masks that I got. There's also, I think, an African black soap mask, if I'm not mistaken, which obviously is not me. I'm way too dry for that. So I have the Radiance mud mask with coconut and hibiscus and songy mushroom, which is great for dull skin, apparently. And I think they're a really good formula. So it looks like both of them are pretty much a mix between water, clay, glycerin, and shea butter, which are really inexpensive ingredients, so I'm glad that these are not grossly expensive. And to be fair, you could mix some of these ingredients together, you know, on their own and kind of create your own mask, but I pretty much bought these for the benefits that the other ingredients have. So this has that raw shea butter, which I can't get easily. I mean, I probably could, but you know what I mean. Plus, it has some essential oils, some frankincense and myrrh, which, again, I could add in, but it's too much of a hassle. And then this has the Songyee mushroom plus jasmine and orange flower extract, which I don't just have laying around. So I think Shea Moisture has done a really good job with their skincare, really good affordability, and you can't get much better than a giant tub of clay and a few other things added in. So if you want to make your own, you can go that route. If you want to buy them pre-made, I would go with a Shea Moisture. And that's something to keep in mind, is clay is really inexpensive if it's bentonite, kaolin, or any of those sorts of clays. You can buy them by the pound for, you know, a few bucks. So just keep that in mind. On the complete other end of things, the Omorovicza Ultramoor Mud Mask, which is I think like $110 or something like that. I got this one for free because they messed up my order and sent me this instead. Okay. It smells like camphor, so really quite strong, and it feels like camphor, which is a very kind of minty, tingly kind of vibe. The weird thing about this is the first time I used it, I didn't do enough and it didn't work. The second time, I really coated my face in it and applied it with a brush. I mean, obviously I made a pretty big dent in here. And they define this as a lifting and firming mud mask. I swear to God, my face was lifted and firmed after I took this off, like pretty much, which is real nice. I think Omorovicza does masks really well because I am also a big fan of the deep cleansing mask, which is more of your traditional clay with a few extra things added, while this is, you know, the more mud plus essential oils plus, you know, a little bit of alcohol, which is probably what lifted my face because it dried it out, and it's sort of a little bit more advanced, if you will. Both of them are gorgeous, though. This is one of the few luxury priced clay masks that I actually would recommend because I think it's really effective. It does not dry the skin out, but it really purifies it and makes it feel clean. So they're onto it, Omorovicza. Good for them. Diptyque multi-use exfoliating clay. You can use this in multiple different ways. I have used it as a mask slash smoothing treatment. I applied it after I cleansed and left it for a few minutes and then kind of buffed it off with my fingers when I was rinsing it. And it was fantastic. Non-drying, really purifying, really smoothing and softening. And of course the smell is fantastic because it's Diptyque, obviously. But I really enjoyed the process of this. This is just a small travel size, but once this guy's finished, I'm definitely going to be grabbing a bigger size because it was really, really nice. The ultimate of purifying masks, in my humblest of opinions, is May Lindstrom Skin The Problem Solver. This is obviously legendary in the blogging world and in the YouTube world. It is a powder mask that you actually mix yourself. With this mask, it is an investment piece, but the cool thing about it is you get a ton of product in here on its own, and the mask does kind of go a little bit further, if you will, when you add water. So you can actually kind of spread, you know, half a teaspoon to cover a good amount of your face when you're using it. So it is an investment piece, but kind of price per use, it's way less expensive than, you know, the Omorovicza or the GlamGlow ones that I'm going to show you in a minute that are priced fairly similarly. So sometimes you can use the honey mud if you want a little bit more of a conditioning mask experience. I tend to get along just fine with water, maybe a little bit of rose water and a touch of raw honey added in. But because this is so rich in clay and kind of purifying ingredients, I really only add the honey element just for that hydration. This already has clay in it, so I think on its own it's already a great mask in my experience. I have the brush and the bowl because I think they're beautiful pieces of craftsmanship, and I love that this helps to support a local artist, so that's fantastic. And come on. Look at how beautiful. So the Problem Solver, the first couple times I used it, it didn't tingle, it didn't warm up. I was a little bit disappointed, but I find that in my experience, you have to keep reactivating it with water to get it to tingle. So you better believe I'm just sitting there like, because I want that tingle. I want the tingle, but it is, they call it a correcting mask, and I really do think that's exactly what it does. It helps with pores, it helps with dullness, with congestion, with irritation in the skin. It is just like a really, really nice reset button. I don't do it every week, I only do it as necessary, so it usually comes down to every other week or sometimes once a week if my skin is just not having it. But it also is nice if you just want to do it down the T-zone for a little bit of a purifying benefit. I think it's gorgeous. I think the experience of it is amazing. It really does kind of change the way you feel. It kind of changes your mood, makes you feel a little bit more comforted and nourished, which I think is all you can ask for in a product, or treat, as I like to refer to May's products. GlamGlow Powermud. Out of all of the GlamGlow masks, there's two that I like. One of them is the Thirstymud, which I will mention in a minute, and the other is the Powermud. This one is good because it is a really nice blend of clays and other good kind of conditioning ingredients. Non-drying, non-irritating, doesn't really have a tingling effect the way the Youth Mud and the Super Mud do, and I kind of appreciate that. I think it is a really nice cleansing mask that doesn't overstrip the skin, doesn't make it feel tight or dry or irritated, and the smell is nice. It's prickly pear. I do think the nice thing about this one in particular and the Thirstymud is they went above and beyond. It's not just clay and water, they really did add other ingredients that'll benefit the skin, so that's what I appreciate about it. All right, let's get on to hydrating, exfoliating, brightening masks. So anything that's not purifying. The first is the Dior One Essential Ultra Detox Mask. If you guys know me and you are familiar with what I've been talking about for the past year or so, you'll know that I love this. It is a gel-based mask that actually goes on the skin and goes on pretty clear. Amazing in the tub. I actually think it's the best when you use it in the tub, so just sit there and kind of let it steam and kind of let your skin release any excess oil or sweat that you might do from being in a, you know, a hot vat of water, if you will. And I really do feel like it gives my skin a lot of smoothness, softness, suppleness, plumpness, and a glow when I take it off. My skin is visibly smoother and visibly softer. It's a blend of a few different things. There's a little bit of salicylic, some I think marshmallow or mallow extract or something like that. Not much clay, a little bit of alcohol, water, fragrance, that sort of thing. But for whatever reason, it really does give me a really nice result. They are reformulating it, if I'm not mistaken, adding in like hibiscus extract or something, but I haven't seen the new mask out. So some stores will still have this. If they do, it's worth looking at, even though it is at the $95 price tag. It's a really nice treat mask that I like to do every once in a while to really give myself that experience. Next, we have the Darphin, I'm not French, Hydrating Kiwi Mask. This is a kind of like a jelly cream texture. It doesn't dry white, which I think is really cool. It's more on the It's a little bit on the denser side. I wouldn't say it's as thin as like a water gel, but you can just put it on, drink your champagne, really let your skin drink in all that moisture, and then I would either, let's see what they say, it says 3 to 5 minutes and remove with a tissue. I would either remove with a tissue or just kind of pat in any excess. It's one of those masks that can kind of double as a moisturizer, or you can use it overnight, but it's really hydrating, softening, smoothing. I wouldn't give it a brightening quality or anything like that, but it really does make your skin feel plump and hydrated and kind of well cared for. So it's really nice, and you don't need very much to get the result that you're looking for, which I think is really nice. I said I was going to talk about this, and I am. This is Thirstymud from GlamGlow. So this is their coconut and honey based clay mask. Really nice and hydrating, but still a little bit purifying. I mean, it is clay-based, so at the end of the day, it is going to draw out impurities. But I think the honey and the coconut just gives it that softening edge that the other ones don't necessarily have. I like it in the tub as well, or as, you know, kind of a prolonged use mask. So I'll put it on and leave it for like an hour or so, and just kind of mist throughout. Sisley Express Flower Gel. Obviously Sisley are famous for their masks. This is a clear gel texture, not unlike the Hydrating Kiwi mask from Darphin, but it is a little bit on the thinner side. The cool thing about this is they say blot to absorb any excess after 3 minutes. So I literally will just put this on and literally just press it into my skin. Really much thinner than the Kiwi mask. The thing with the Express Flower Gel is that it works. You put it on, your skin does instantly look brighter, feels plumper, feels more hydrated, and I tried it once where I put it on and then rinsed it off, and my skin still looked bright and still felt hydrated and plumped out, which is, I think, saying something. The interesting thing is the ingredient label is nothing where I'm like, oh my god, that is so worth $160 or $140 or whatever it is. I got mine on eBay for like half of that or whatever. But I do think it is a really nice mask and it works. So what are you gonna do when it works? Smells gorgeous of rose. a few other floral ingredients that I don't quite know. If you are in the market for a really nice luxury mask, go for Sisley. I mean, it is luxury, let's be fair, but I have tried the Black Rose Cream Mask, and that one is gorgeous too. So if you want to treat yourself, go for it. Yes, the next two masks that I'm going to talk about are a little bit different. This is the Oxygen Facial Flash Recovery Mask from Dr. Brandt. So you put it on. The thing with this is it works. You put it on, your skin is instantly, like when you take it off, your skin is instantly smoother, instantly, you know, no pores, brightness, softness, like you instantly look like you've had a really intense facial. So really nice, great if you have no time at all but you really want to make a big difference in the skin. That's where I'd go with Dr. B. Next is the Laneige Water Sleeping Pack EX. This is the old packaging, but whatever. This is an overnight mask. I'm almost done with mine. When you apply this on the skin and you wake up the next morning, your skin is softer, more hydrated, plump, and yeah, you just look and feel a little bit better and a little bit more hydrated. So I think it's a really good price, and I think it works, which is fantastic. Not the most hydrating product that I've ever used in my entire life, but if I know that my skin is more on the dehydrated side and I'm going to have the air conditioning on high because I'm burning up or whatever, I'll put this on over everything just to kind of keep the hydration in, and it does a really good job at that. Next, let's talk about sheet masks. I love the Karuna masks, which you can find at Sephora. I also love the Pharmacy gel masks. Another brand that I'm a fan of is the Innisfree Hydrogel masks. I like gel masks because they form to the skin a little bit better. They fit on my face more effectively. And the Innisfree, especially the cactus one, that one is my jam. Do I have that one in here? Somewhere. It is really deliciously hydrating, plumping, smoothing, softening, everything that you could imagine. The canola honey, I have not used it yet, but I'm looking forward to. It looks good. Innisfree usually does a really good job with their ingredient lists, so that's always fantastic. Sheet masks are great. I mean, right now I don't have a ton of experience with every single one that they have out there, but I think, yeah, they're fun. Why not? Single use, amazing, great for travel. And then last but not least, the most unique mask that I own is the Dr. Dennis Gross Age Erase Recovery Mask. So you put on this really, really, not heavy, but like slimy hyaluronic gel onto dry skin. And then you open up step 2, dampen your hands, apply it to the face, and it warms up. There's a chemical reaction that occurs, and the mask will warm up on the face. It's really cool because it does instantly feel warmer, and this has like retinol and peptides and soy proteins and that sort of thing. I think soy. Amazing, and it really does warm up and feels great on the skin. When you remove it, your skin is left feeling completely smooth and soft and hydrated and delicious, and yeah, it just warms up, which is amazing. So I love that. I have to go take this one off and see what it's done to my skin and follow with the rest of my skincare. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you saw a mask or two that you enjoyed. Maybe you already have one in left. What is that, a dump truck? It's like 8 p.m. Go away. Let me know what your favorite masks are below, because obviously I'm always in the market for new ones. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye.